Now, the next subheading of the first chapter, Imperialism and Colonialism, is South Africa. This is part of our great book series, History of Civilization, Part 2 by Arjun Dev Sir. South Africa. In South Africa, the Dutch had established the Cape Colony, which the British took over in the early 19th century. The Dutch settlers, known as Boers, then went north and set up two states, the Orange Free State and the Transvaal. By 1850, both these states were ruled by the Boers. The English adventurer Cecil Rhodes came to South Africa in 1870, made a fortune in mining diamond and gold of this region, and gave his name to an African colony, Rhodesia. Northern Rhodesia is now independent and is called Zambia. Southern Rhodesia, which became an independent nation in April 1980, is Zimbabwe. Rhodes became famous as a great philanthropist who founded the Rhodes Scholarships, but he was first of all a profiteer and empire builder. Pure philanthropy, he said, is very well in its way, but philanthropy gives a plus 5%. Philanthropy plus 5% is a good deal better. Rhodes' dream was to extend the British rule throughout the world, and he certainly succeeded in extending the British Empire in Africa. The British occupied Bechuanaland, Rhodesia, Swaziland, and Basutoland. They plotted the overthrow of the Boer government of Transvaal, which was rich in gold. This led to the Boer War, 1899 to 1902, in which the Boers were defeated, though they continued to remain there. Soon after this, the Union of South Africa was formed, consisting of the Cape, Natal, Transvaal, and Orange River Colony. This union was ruled by the white minority, Boers, Englishmen, and few settlers from other European countries. The South African government later declared itself a republic. Next subheading is East Africa. So we're covering the whole of Africa. Except for the Portuguese possession of a part of Mozambique, East Africa had not been occupied by any European power before 1884. In that year, a German adventurer named Karl Peters came to the coastal region. Using bribery and threats, he persuaded some rulers to sign agreements placing themselves under German protection. Since France and Britain also had plans in this area, an agreement was signed by which France got Madagascar and East Africa was divided between Germany and England. The ruler of Zanzibar, who claimed East Africa as his property, got a strip of coastland 1600 kilometers long and 16 kilometers deep. The northern half of the strip was reorganized as a British sphere of influence, and the southern part, Tanganyika, a German sphere of influence. These were later occupied by England and Germany, but the Africans rose in revolt again and again because the Germans had taken land from them without making any payment. During a rebellion in 1905, 120,000 Africans were killed in the German colony. In 1890, there was an agreement between Germany and England according to which Uganda was reserved for England. In exchange, Germany was given Heligoland in 1896. Uganda was declared a British protectorate. Germany also gave up her claims to Zanzibar and Pemba Island, Vitu and Naisa land, present Malwa, but made more conquests in the interior. The Portuguese colony of Mozambique was to be shared out between Germany and England after the war and was renamed Tanganyika. Tanganyika and Zanzibar now form the Republic of Tanzania. British East Africa was renamed Kenya. The German possession of Rwanda, Urundi was given to Belgium. Like Germany, like Germany, Italy entered the colonial race late. The Italians occupied two desert areas in what is called the Horn of Africa, Somaliland and Eritrea. The country of Abyssinia, now known as Ethiopia, was an independent state. Italy wanted to declare Abyssinia its protectorate and invaded her. The king of Abyssinia rejected Italy's claim and in 1896 defeated the Italian invading army. Unlike other African states, Abyssinia had been able to get arms from France. This historical battle, in which an African state had defeated a European state's army, is known as the Battle of Adwa. So the Italians had to withdraw. Italy, so the Italians had to withdraw Italy, made another attempt to conquer Abyssinia in 1935, before the Second World War. Except for a brief period during those years, Ethiopia, except Eritrea, was able to maintain her independence. North Africa, subheading is North Africa. Algeria on the north coast of Africa was conquered by France in 1830, but it took her about 40 years to suppress the Algerian resistance. It was the most profitable of France's colonial possessions, providing her a vast market for French goods. To the east of Algeria is Tunisia, which was coveted by France, England, and Italy. According to an agreement in 1878, England gave France a free hand in Tunisia in return for British occupation of the island of Cyprus, and a few years later, Tunisia became a French possession. Morocco is situated on the north coast of Africa, just south of Gibraltar. Thus, it is very important to the western entrance of the Mediterranean. Both France and Italy wanted to claim it as their territory. The two countries agreed in 1900 to the French occupation of Morocco and to the Italian occupation of Tripoli and Cyrenaica to the east of Tunisia. In 1904, France and England signed an agreement which gave Morocco to France and Egypt to England. After these agreements had been signed, France proceeded with her plans of conquest of Morocco. Germany had been ignored. Germany had been ignored when England, France, and Italy were signing agreements to partition North Africa. She threatened to oppose the French occupation. Spain had been promised Tangier in return for French occupation of Morocco. So it became necessary to appease German ambitions in North Africa. There were many international crises, and it appeared as if war would break out. The German foreign minister said, "You have bought you have bought your liberty in Morocco from Spain, England, and even from Italy, and you have left us out. But who should occupy Morocco was decided as in other cases in Europe. The people of Morocco were never consulted. Ultimately, France agreed to give Germany 250,000 square kilometers of French Congo. Spain was further appeased by giving her a small part of Morocco. In 1912, France established her protectorate over Morocco. However, it took the French many years after the First World War to suppress the rebellions there. As we have seen earlier, Italy had assured herself the support of European nations in her claims over Tripoli and Cyrenaica, which were the possessions of the Turkish Empire. Italy then declared war against Turkey and occupied the two provinces, which were given the old Roman name of Libya. Egypt was a province of the Turkish Empire when the scramble for colonies began in the 19th century. It was ruled by a representative of the Turkish Sultan called Pasha. Since the time of Napoleon, France had been interested in Egypt. A French company had gained a concession from Ismail Pasha, the governor of Egypt, to dig a canal across the Isthmus of Suez. The canal was completed in 1869 and aroused British interest in the area. Disraeli, the British Prime Minister, bought a large number of shares in the canal from the Pasha to make sure of keeping the route to India safe. The canal was described by Disraeli as a highway to our Indian Empire. The financial troubles of the Pasha led to the increased joint Anglo French control over Egypt. When the Pasha tried to resist, he was forced to abdicate and a new governor was appointed. In 1882, there was a revolt against the Anglo French control, and in suppressing the revolt, the British armies conquered Egypt. Restoration of law and order and protection of the Suez Canal were the reasons given for the military intervention in Egypt. England announced that she would withdraw her troops as soon as order was restored After the revolt was suppressed, Egypt came under British control. In 1914, when the First World War started, England announced that Egypt was no longer a Turkish province but a British protectorate. The Egyptians never reconciled themselves to the British conquest. After the war was over, leaders of the Egypt started for the Paris Peace Conference to plead the case of Egypt, but they were arrested. In 1922, though she still retained her rights over the Suez and many other concessions, Britain was forced to recognize Egypt as an independent sovereign state. Sudan, or what was earlier known as Egyptian Sudan, was jointly exploited by Egypt and Britain. A Sudanese leader who had proclaimed himself the Mahdi had, in the 1880s, succeeded in overthrowing Egyptian and British control over Sudan. His army had defeated Egyptian and British troops in 1898. British and Egyptian troops succeeded in recapturing Sudan after a long and bloody war in which 20,000 Sudanese troops, including the successor of the Mahdi, were killed. Sudan came under the British rule. The French at this time tried to occupy southern parts of Sudan but were forced to withdraw by the British. France, however, was given a free hand to extend her control over what was known as the Western Sudan and the Sahara. France occupied these areas after a long war of conquest. With these gains, France was able to connect her equatorial conquests with her West and North African conquests. And that completes this section. In the next section, we'll go for the next subheading, the Americas and the Pacific.